sneaker fans, and welcome to another whispered reading episode from the Sneakers Icons of Style. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is my current book where we do weekly episodes of reading a little bit more about the history of some iconic footwear. So I really enjoy bringing this to you, and if you're a recurring viewer, hi, good to see you again. Let's get straight into it now. Starting this week, 1984, and the Adidas ZX 500. The Adidas ZX 500 was first released in 1984 as part of the ZX 00 family, providing a balanced cross between a trail and a running shoe. The mix of mesh, suede and nylon was forward-thinking and set the tone for Adidas running shoes for years after. The support and breathability on the upper was complemented by its TPU counter and EVA midsole, which helped to keep the right balance when in motion. It was the perfect blend of considered materials and technology. In 2002, reissues of the model started to appear, a program that carried on throughout the 2000s with an array of strong colorways. The appeal of the ZX 500 as a lifestyle shoe soon became apparent, even among other established 1980s and 1990s runners. The ZX 500 still resonates with collectors and sports shoe fans. In 2008, the appeal of the ZX 500 was also helped by the outstanding Adidas Consortium AZX project that saw the brand collaborating with a huge number of sub-brands from around the world for their take on the ZX range. Associates included the likes of Colette, D-Mop, Foot Patrol, Crooked Tongues and Patter. Modern updates of the ZX 500 include the weave versions, which reintroduced the shoe to a modern audience and also helped to reshape the shoe's aesthetics and appeal, not apparel. The original ZX 500 colorway of grey and red still remains one of Adidas's best loved color palettes. There we go. The grey and red. Swiftly moving on into some of my favourite years of sneaker releases. 1985. Okay. Before the introduction of the Air Jordan 1 to the NBA courts, the Nike Dunk was the go-to choice for basketball players, and for those off the basketball court as well. In 1985, Nike released the Dunk in a variety of different colorways during the 1985-6 basketball tournament held by the National Collegiate Athletic Association, or NCAA as you might know it. College teams such as Syracuse, Michigan and Arizona State selected the Dunk as their shoe to play in. Owing to the number of colour options, each university could easily match up its team colours to the shoes. Even the Nike Dunk shoebox matched the colour scheme of the shoe. In 1998, Nike reissued the Dunk, to the relief of many long-term fans of the shoe. Since then, the Dunk has achieved huge success and received lots of attention, especially in the early to mid-2000s. The design was subject to many high-profile collaborations, including projects with Supreme and Jeff Staple, and was also produced in new colours colorways, both of which resulted in a dunk collecting frenzy. The Nike Dunk also contributed to Nike's future success within the skateboarding industry, with its extra padded tongue, durable materials and limited edition colorways. The Dunk SB was a huge success among both skaters and collectors. Any Dunk fans watching? Drop me a comment, what's your favourite Dunk ever? I've got a few on my list, but I think the original Wu-Tang is definitely up there, as I am a avid Wu-Tang fan, similar to this, but with the logo on here. I think it's a black swoosh. Staying in 1985, designed for basketball legend Michael Jordan by Peter Moore at Nike. The Air Jordan 1 was the beginning of the long-running Nike Air Jordan signature line. Despite its success, it had a controversial start. Michael Jordan got to wear the black and red version only 3 times on the court before the National Basketball Association, or the NBA, stepped in and banned the shoe. Why? Simply because the shoe broke the NBA league colour regulations. Nike couldn't have wished for more. What better way to fuel interest in a shoe than for it to be banned? Nike continued to pay the $5,000 fine every time Jordan stepped onto the court with the colourful Air Jordan 1 on his feet. Although collecting sports shoes had long been a craze in metropolitan areas like New York City, the banning of the black and red Air Jordans created a frenzy and also sparked interest in collecting sports shoes further afield. The Air Jordan 1 marked the beginning of sneaker collecting as we know it today. The design itself was revolutionary and bold too. Now known as the Band, B-A-N-N-E-D by the way, Nike would later reissue a version in 2011 that played on this idea, or Breads, B-R-E-D, black and reds. The design utilised premium leather, a striking red colour, and the winged basketball Air Jordan logo. Later, a version with white accents was released that proved just as popular. Other fan favourites to this day include the black and royal and the black toe versions, among an array of other colour options with its ankle protection and durability. The Air Jordan 1 has found popularity among skateboarders and was recently released under the Nike SB skateboarding brand. The crossover appeal still stays strong today, with the shoe worn with various styles. Here we see the main man, MJ himself, donning the band bread Jordan 1. And here we see the alternate version, alternate colourway. These are the Chicago's, black, white and red. One of the best colourways. What's your favourite Jordan 1 colourway? I'm gonna go with, on this occasion, the one that pops to my head is probably the shattered backboards. The first version. Black, white and orange. Beautiful shoe. Let's keep it going. And we're still with some of the most legendary shoes of all time in my opinion. 1987. Nike Air Max 1. The Air Max 1 is yet another key moment in Nike history and one of Tinker Hatfield's greatest designs. Aided by the then developer Mark Parker, although Tinker was not the designer of Nike's Air technology, especially for a non-racing shoe. And there were a lot of people at Nike who didn't believe the Air Max 1 would be a success. After a long process of design, development and testing, the Air Max 1 was released in 1987 alongside the Nike Air Safari and the Air Trainer, thereby changing running, Nike and sneakers for good, and starting one of Nike's best loved running shoe lines. Since its creation, the Air Max 1 has gone on to become one of the most iconic shoe designs of all time, often used as a symbol for sneaker culture as a whole. Over the decades, various high-profile collaborations and technical innovations have helped to ensure that the Air Max 1 remains relevant and continues to capture attention. Although the technology has long been surpassed, the love for this shoe isn't showing any signs of fading. There it is, the original OG grey, white and red Air Max 1. Such a clean shoe, really nice design. Okay, last one for today. 1987 again, and you guessed it, the Nike Air Safari. Originally designed by Tinker Hatfield for running and track sports in 1987, the Nike Air Safari utilised a unique mix of luxury materials and aesthetics. Its leather upper is complemented by distinctive speckled grey panels, which have since become synonymous with the model. Back in the late 1980s, however, its bright orange accents proved to be a controversial aesthetic for an athlete shoe. The Air Safari was part of the 1987 Air Pack, which otherwise comprised the Air Max 1, the Air Trainer 1, the Air Sock, and the Air Revolution, all now iconic designs. The Air Safari's performance was matched by its luxurious aesthetic and materials, allowing the shoe to also be worn for casual purposes. One of the unique features of the Air Safari was its safari print, inspired, it said, by high-end furniture and the luxurious materials used to construct it, such as ostrich skin. Its use of quality materials found throughout the shoe is one of the contributing factors to the design's cult status within the sneaker collecting community. The design didn't receive widespread attention until Nike presented the reissues of the model in 2003. Its unique speckled pattern would gain further popularity through a special collaboration between Atmos and Nike, where the pattern was utilised on the Air Max 1. This inspired further use of the Safari speckle on other Nike models in the years that followed, creating further appreciation for the Air Safari original. And there we go. You can see the Air Safari with the bright orangey brown leather. And here the silhouette, you can see it's very similar to an Air Max 1. Same silhouette, just with a different sole. And the Atmos version is a very, very nice shoe, where they changed the brown for like a nice turquoise and put the Air Max 1 sole. If you don't know about them, go check them out. Okay, now that is it for this week's Icons of Style. Thank you for joining me. This will probably be my last video for the year now. So, we continue in the new year. And thank you all for your continued support on the channel. We're going to keep it moving. Please leave some comments if you have suggestions for videos or if you wanted to say hello, whatever. Thank you guys. Good night, God bless, and as always,